Hey, is this thing on? You know I always say that. It's on. Hi, welcome to Creative Emotions. Thank you guys for being with me. I am your host, Vaquita Taylor. You guys may know me as Q. I just want to welcome you on here tonight. And again, thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking your time out to sit here and to listen. I want to give a big shout out to WGOD and Podcasting. I want to give a shout out to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you go subscribe to my channel, Vaquita Taylor, so you can get these live. You can get these notifications. So it's a couple of ways you guys can reach me. On this show, you will get good energy, these good vibes. You're going to get some motivation. You're going to get some good knowledge. You may get a pen and paper and learn something. Because if it helped one person, then guess what? It's done its job. And so I'm excited about that. And that's what you're going to get. It's literally what you're going to get on here. So today I want to talk about overcompensating. And there are a lot of ways that we do that. But before I do, I want to just remind you guys, up until the new year, I will be bringing topics that will help you to really think about changing your now and not waiting to January. I will be talking about things that can stimulate your atmosphere just to be able to change into your best version of yourself, the best version of your household, having that peace, having that mindfulness on a lot of areas, and even having your faith. Your faith is very important in this time. It's so much going on. It is so much stimulation going on around us that sometimes you have to just quiet yourself. Sometimes you have to go back to the drawing board and just really, look at why you're doing the things that you do. And so overcompensating is taking excessive measures and attempting to correct or make amends for an error, weakness, or problem. It is a known defense mechanism. Did you know that? Did you know that overcompensating is a defense mechanism? It can just come up. Just to spare you, but sometimes it's all in our heads. A lot of times it's in our heads. Sometimes we feel like we have something to prove, or like, oh, let me do this because of that. And, sometimes you can just drive yourself crazy. So our actions, behavior, speech, and personality is influenced not only by the conscious mind, but the subconscious mind, and it affects these varied stimuli that we have, again, with our conscious mind, our unconscious mind. You can also, I want to stop and say you can give me a call here at 313-855-5737. That's 313-855-5737 if you want to get in on this topic. We are talking about overcompensation and the different ways that we overcompensate. It is really a thing. And so our behavior have many layers to it. And it can sometimes come from the past. I know personally, I was doing things, supporting my children in a way because I didn't have it. Not necessarily because I was looking at their personal needs. It was because I was like, oh, I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to do that, or I'm overcompensating to look at people's lives that I do not want to be like, instead of looking at the things that I do want to incorporate in my own personal life. And so I would look at the negative things in people's lives, and I would overcompensate in my personal life so that I don't end up like that. And so just taking that negativity and shaping my world, it caused me to be in negative situations and toxic situations, all because in my mind, I'm doing what I thought was best. Oh, I don't want to be like that, because at the end of the day, we have two choices. Either you will be like what you come from, or you would say, I am never going to be like that. And so you have to find out what it is that's driving that inside of you to say, I'm never going to be like that. But don't overcompensate and miss your journey, miss the way that you're supposed to flow because you're overcompensating. So that's the thing. So a defense mechanism is coping techniques that are adopted by the subconscious mind to deal with and lessen the intensity that presents itself as unpleasant, like threatening, and unwanted. So again, in your mind, immediately, some things happen and come up. We'll say some things, that's that impulsiveness. We'll say some things because, it's a defense mechanism. Like, oh no, who you talking to? Or don't talk to me that way. Or I'm not going to let this happen. I'm not going to. And so that also brings anxiety. And it's amazing how a lot of our society is suffering from that. Me personally, I feel like it's a spiritual thing. thing. A lot of the things that we go through, and not saying that you shouldn't see a therapist, because you should. Therapists are there. They're non-biased. Plug. Go see you a therapist if you need to. But a lot of the times, it's spiritual. It's a spiritual thing. It's undealt with trauma. It's undealt with things that we going through internally that we're not dealing with, that cause us to, you talking about me? What you say about me? What they saying? What they doing? It causes this panic, or it put us in this place of anxiety. And sometimes it's just a spiritual thing. Just quieting yourself and aligning yourself and really understanding who you are, what you're doing, what you're supposed to be doing. Because a lot of times we run around aimlessly because we don't know what we're supposed to be doing. And we're following the lead of other people to say, oh, that looked like I should be doing that. That's easy. They did it that way. Maybe I should do it that way. Instead of consulting with the creator of your soul, because that's the thing. God knows every hair on our head, so I'm sure he knows what your purpose is and what you're supposed to be doing. And in every situation that you consult the creator of your soul. What should I be doing? How should I respond? How should I raise these children? What should I do? What should I say? Should I befriend these people? Do they need to be in my life? Do they not need to be in my life? So when we start to consult, we're able to navigate better. A lot of the times we bring on anxiety for ourselves. As I stated, running around like a chicken with my head cut off, taking my children over here and over there and over here and over there, doing all this stuff because I never had that or that support or what I felt like I needed. I was that for my children, and not because they necessarily needed that from me, but I was overcompensating for what I did not get. And so really evaluate yourself and think about, the things that you do and why. Why you do them? So overcompensating in this sense is negative because it prevents a person from really addressing the main issue from which these feelings of feeling inferior or inadequacies present themselves. That's the thing. So we have to be like, we've been literally in a rat race. I mean, even in high school, it's competition. Is who got the best this, who got the best that. You're a whole adult. Get out of this high school situation, and we're literally still in it. What you got, what you don't have, what you're doing, how you doing it. Go to these 10-year anniversary, 20-year anniversaries. So what you doing now? How you doing it? So, people putting on fake lives and bringing fake wives and husbands. For what? Because we're overcompensating for what we feel like people think that we need to have, what we feel like we should have because of what someone else has. So really check your motives with that. So the real joy is enjoying the journey and whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's for yourself or for others. Because a lot of times we overcompensate, like I said, in being parents. We overcompensate in relationships. If you have been unfaithful, and now you're trying to win back your trust. You're trying to win back the trust from your spouse or whatever relationship you're in, and you overcompensate. You're doing the most, thinking that this is going to stop the problem versus getting down to the bottom of what's really going on. A lot of the things that we go through is just getting down to the bottom of it, getting down to the bottom of the trauma, getting down to the bottom of your reasons why you do positive, why you do negative. What is the reason? That's important to think about that. So your inadequacies can be overshadowed by an unhealthy drive to redeem yourself. And, like I said, that's proving yourself, trying to prove yourself all the time and, show people who you are, what you're doing, and, always just me. It's exhausting. I'm uninterested. I'm uninterested. I'd rather just do what it is God placed me here to do. Whether I get a clap, whether I get a like, whether I get a share, whatever it is, I find pleasure in just saying, God, lead me. God, the people that I'm supposed to meet, let me meet them. Let me be the person someone is supposed to meet, and give me a word in my mouth so that I will be able to help them. Let people come into my life and leave with something. Don't let me always take, but let me be able to give. I find pleasure in that. I find solace in that. You hear me? Peace in that. Just being that. I'm uninterested. So what is the motive in what we do? That's a thing to think about. What is your motive? So I want to see, what are they saying on here? What is your motive? I'm going to give you a minute. We still flowing. But I want to share this on my page too. Because I had to check my motives. I really had to check my motives with a lot of stuff that I do. The way that I think. Why did I think that? Why did I say that? Why do I feel that? That's important. To really check your motives on why do you do what you do? So we can make matters worse. You can actually judge yourself too harshly. And the way that we do that is comparing our lives. You're comparing your lives to what's not reality. Social media is not reality. Your reality is to your left and your right. Your reality is your family. Your reality is your work life, your work balance life. Your reality is what you do every day that's shaping your world. And a lot of times we think that social media is that reality. We give it a lot. I actually did something. I turned off Facebook. I turned off my social media on my phone because, if you already logged in, you can just pick your phone up and, you logged in, right? So I logged off to everything. And I really counted how many times I picked my phone up unconsciously just to go to these apps. And it's not to see anything in particular. It's just a thing that we do. It's a thing. Just like people smoke cigarettes and they got to have something in their hand. A lot of times you have your phone everywhere you go, everybody like this. We're going to have a new form of arthritis, right? In the thumbs and the necks, because this is, people walk, they like this all day long. So I did that. I took it off my phone and I just wanted to see how many times did I pick up my phone to literally go to it. I actually told my son to do that, to log off TikTok, and he will pick his phone up. Every time he pick his phone up, he about to go on there. I said, you see? Because you don't even realize it. And you may not necessarily say that you're comparing your life, because it may not happen in your conscious mind to say, hey, I want to be like this person. But unconsciously, it's there. So you really have to check your motives. So being in competition and competing, a lot of times people don't even know why. You don't even know why. Why do you want what you want? Is it because you've seen somebody else with it? Is it because it's what you always wanted? Really check your motives with that. So social examples I want to talk about of overcompensating. You can be extra, right? Extra is good because I can say that I'm extra. I feel like I got a big bubbly personality and I blend well with people. And, people, it may not be for everybody. So I may be extra to some people. You say you too? So I may not, be for everybody. So socially, you can try to be the life of the party, but that's not you. So you overcompensating, right? You being extra gregarious, you being extra silly, you being extra talkative, you talking way too much. Whatever it is, you not really being yourself. And you putting on. And it's overcompensating. So people would like you or get to know you, but that's not really you. And so you overcompensating a part that you don't have. So if you're not social, it's okay. Be the flower on the wall, and you can have somebody like me come over, because I don't like to see people alone, and I say, hey, what's up? You enjoying yourself? But you don't have to be that person if you're not that person. And so a lot of times people overcompensate that way, and it's awkward. And you talking way too much, and so that's the thing. Oversharing. So when you're socially being awkward and overcompensating, you can share way too much of your business. Like, why do people need to know about the dog next door that had surgery? Because you're running out of things to talk about. Or you're talking about your neighbor and her wife and his boyfriend and girlfriend. You oversharing because you're not a talkative person. So you're overcompensating, and it's awkward. And you don't have to be that way, because guess what? You're not the only person on the phone. You got another person on the phone that should be able to talk about something too. So you should have conversations with substance. That's my thing. I like to have conversations that we're talking about something. Now, we don't always have to be deep, of course, but let's talk about something. I know me and my best friend, we have the best. Somebody talking about, yeah, you extra. Yeah, I am. It's okay. But me and my best friend have really good conversations. Like, we almost have therapy session kind of conversations. Like, figuring things out, talking to each other. Like, oh, I never realized that this is this and that. Like, we really have good conversations. So overcompensating, you can overshare other people's business and your own. So being authentic and really having, like I said, real connections and having conversations and being comfortable in your awkwardness. Because it may feel awkward to you, or people may say it's awkward, but if it's how you are, it's okay. You don't have to be who you are not, because then you get into overcompensating. Definitely. Anxiety is literally the number one issue in today's society, and it has a lot to do with overstimulation. We are overstimulated. Everything's happening at once. You don't really have time to think. I mean, especially if you're on social media, you really don't have no time to think. You go from scrolling to a graduation, to somebody's baby being born, to someone's son killed, to a girl in the neighborhood missing, back to somebody opening another business, back to somebody breaking up in a relationship that you was honoring and looking up to or whatever, back to your family drama, they on there beefing. Just imagine in one day this overstimulation that we go through and how it can affect you. Like, it's serious. It's like overload. It's like information overload. I don't think that we really realize how much it affects us, because it really does. So anxiety can also come from doing too much. I used to go from work to picking up the kids to we got this practice, that practice, got to go to the grocery store, got to do this and that and this and that, and I'm all over the place. When I get home, I don't have anything left to give. But again, I was overcompensating, thinking that looking busy mean busy, and it ain't. You running around chasing your tail. So you got to give your time something to do. That's important. Give your time something to do. This time and this time I'm doing this. This time and that time I'm doing that. And again, like I said, these things you can implement before the first of the year. You can do it now. Really check what's going on. So being a giver, I want you to examine yourself and stop blaming everyone that come to take, because everybody has a position. You have givers and you have people that come and take. Sometimes there's no healthy balance, but a giver needs to know why they doing it. So I want you to ask yourself, what's your motive? Why are you overextending yourself? What are you overcompensating? Why are you doing what you're doing? You being a yes man? You need to know that you're worthy to receive. I notice that a lot of people don't like to receive. They just want to give. But guess what? You can get burnt out with that too. Because if people see that in you and then they come to take, how can you be mad? And then when somebody try to give to you, you're like, no, I'm good. Cut it out. Allow somebody to give to you too. Allow somebody to do something nice for you as well. I don't know what that is, but a lot of people are like that. Like, even in relationships, like, men like to give all the time, and then when a woman give, it's like, no, you don't have to, or no, I'm good, or it's the opposite, over the top. Oh, a woman needs to do for me too, and it's lunch on you, and dinner on you, and this on you, and it's like, okay, get a little weird. So are you overcompensating for a woman never doing for you? So now anybody you get with, you got to make them prove themselves to you. That's a little weird. You should allow people to be who they are. And that's how you can tell, like, who's true and who's authentic. I don't have time for that. I don't. I'm gonna be who I am. If I'm gonna do something for a man, I'm gonna do it. I don't need you to to coach me into it. That's how you get to know a person and how they are, and if it's somebody that you want in your life. That's a real thing. So trying to be the best parent by providing things, taking them places, buying certain materials, it does not equate to good parenting. It don't. I'm sorry, not sorry. It don't. We really need to help our children navigate in this life, getting them a pair of Jordans and some clothes just because you didn't get it right, when you were younger, or nobody really gave you those things or threw you to parties or did the hoopla. You overcompensating for your children, but they not appreciating it because it's what you want. It's not really what they want. So we got to be careful not to live through our children, but really understand what they need as individuals, because we're overcompensating. I've seen children with not even passing grades, and they getting thousands spent on them. And the parents ain't even all that. Like, it's a thing. We got to do better. We got to help our children with the basics. School ain't going to do everything. Balancing checkbooks and the money and savings accounts and how to spend, what to do, how to do. That's being a good parent, because we're raising up our children in the way that they should go. But giving them things, I think we fail miserably when we do that. And I do feel like it's a little bit of an overcompensation for what you didn't get, or to prove to somebody else that you doing what you doing. Like, it's all mental, and we got to get out of this mental screw that the society is doing to us. Material things don't mean anything. You can't take anything with you, but the legacy you leave, the things that you impart into your children, into the people around you, that's going to speak even from the grave, and that's more important than the material things to me. In this world, it's a lot of pressure, and like I said, to match, to outshine. When reality, the biggest competition is yourself. The biggest competition, the biggest thing you need to do is try to be better than you were yesterday. Yesterday, you know what? I fell short. Let me get it right today. And if you do that, that's like, okay, look, I have overcome. I've come over. That's my whole thing. Like, if I failed the day before, which I'm very mindful, like I said, checking my motives. Why you say that? Why did you impart that into the conversation? What was your motive for that? When you check yourself, other people don't have to check you. Check yourself. Check yourself. Self-govern. Self-govern in and out of church. Self-govern in and out of work, out of home. Self-govern. Make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Again, the only way you're going to know that is by consulting with the one that created you. And it ain't your mother and your father. Listen, that's a whole nother thing. So I got a couple tips to help you start to overcome the need to overcompensate. If, in fact, you are overcompensating, if you can find yourself in some of these things I just talked about, just a couple tips, couple things. Ask yourself, how are you overcompensating? Now, I just shared a way that I was with my children, trying to do things and be the support that I never had or whatever. When really, if they're not into that, they're not into what I'm trying to do, then it's really not helping them. It's just feeding my own ego and pride and whatever it is that I'm setting out to do, which is not helping. So ask yourself, how are you overcompensating? Is it your time? Is it your money? Is it your energy? Is it emotional support? Do you feel like you have to be there for everybody? Do you literally overextend yourself and not think about the consequences of the time that you've taken away from your own family? The time that you've taken away from things that you're supposed to be doing? Are you overcompensating, trying to be this perfect friend or a perfect whatever to somebody else, that you're overcompensating? That's the thing. Seriously. Do you feel far from good enough and doubt yourself in relationships? Question. Do you doubt yourself that you're good enough? I was just talking to someone about how women would do certain things. Basically, women trying to get chose and men do the choosing, right? So a lot of times, it may not even be something that a woman would necessarily do, and it's past compromise. It's almost like, I'm doing this because I want you to choose me, when really it's not what they want to do. And so in the end, it come back and slap everybody in the face, because it's gonna halt. It's gonna come to an end. It's gonna come to a, if you're not married yet, what are we doing, and how are we about to do this? Because I ain't about to keep doing this. It's gonna come. I tell men all the time, it don't matter if you start off your conversation with, I ain't looking for nothing, because if you start off that way and you do things like you're in a relationship, brother, you in a relationship. So women, are you overcompensating because you trying to get chose? Because you want this man to look at you a certain way? Think about that. Are you doing certain things and you know deep down you like, I do not want to do this, and it goes against some of the things that you had planned for yourself or set for yourself? I'm not saying compromise. It's not what I'm saying. Because with everybody, you're gonna have to compromise with anything. That's not what I'm talking about. But are you doing things that you know you don't want to do because you're trying to get chose? So think about that. So what are you overcompensating for? So be honest with yourself. Like, do you feel like you're good enough? Are you genuinely happy with your career, your relationship, or yourself? Are you happy? Or are you overcompensating for the things around you, and you know that it's not giving you the life that you want, but because of what it looked like, you still doing it? And over the top doing it too. Like, really, really ask yourself that question. Like, that's something I'm giving you these questions because I want you to really look at your right now and your right now decisions. Not wait till January. Your right now decisions. So, how true is it that you're not offering enough, or that you're not good enough? How true is that? Is that true? That you're not offering, that you're not good enough? Is that true for you? Or that you're not offering enough? Because this is what people may be saying to you, or stretching you more than you would like to be stretched in a particular situation. Is that true? That you're not being good enough? That you're not putting forth effort? Is that true? So you can ask yourself that, because just be real with you. So when you were last truly proud of yourself, when were you truly proud of yourself? And I'm not talking about I got the job on social media. I started the business on social media. I overcame this on social media, because that turns to people validating you, and that's temporary. But when have you really just been happy, like proud of yourself, with nobody being around, without a camera in your face, without nobody saying good job, or you getting the hundreds and thousands of likes because you finally did something that you decided to do for yourself? When have you, the last time that you've truly been happy with your decisions and what you did and how the outcome was? So these are questions to ask yourself and to overcome if you're overcompensating. So what would happen if you try not to overcompensate, if you are. And if you slacked up doing these things, the different things that you feel like, I'm doing too much, or I really don't want to do this, or this is really not me, and I feel out of place doing it. Really ask yourself that. And these are just some of the things that you can do to really just take note. Take note and then make the change. Take note, self-evaluate, and make the necessary changes. Again, you can start right now. You can start today. You do not have to wait till January. You don't have to make this long list of things that you want to do different, and you can actually start right now. And every week until the new year, I will be coming to you with things that you can start doing right now to make your life better, to make the people around you lives better, to make you think of the best version of yourself and start becoming it right now. So it's a scripture in the Word the Holy Spirit put on my heart this morning when I was doing some research. And Ecclesiastes 9 and 11. But I'm going to start at 10. And I'll let you know, like, how this all comes together. And I'm going to use the NIV version for this. So whatever your hands find to do, do it with all your might. For in the grave where you are going, there is neither working, nor planning, nor knowledge, nor wisdom. I have seen something under the sun. The race is not to the swift, or the battle to the strong, nor does the food come to the wise, or wealth to the brilliant, or favor to the learned. But time and chance happen to them all. Moreover, no man knows when his hour will come. As fish are caught in cruel net, or birds are taken in a snare, so men are trapped by evil times that fall unexpectedly upon them. This is Ecclesiastes, and I just read the NIV version, 9 verse 10 through 12. And so what I want you to know about this is it's a place that we all will go, right? We all will leave here, and we all have the same 24 hours in a day. We all can make choices. We all have different opportunities. They may not be the same, but we all have opportunities. But what you need to know is, wherever you are on your journey at this time in life, let it be yours. It's not anybody else's. Nobody to the left, nobody to the right. Let it be yours. Time and chance happens to everybody, and we're all gonna go. But what you do now is gonna last, and you do not have to overcompensate for who you are. Who you are is needed. It's needed somewhere. It's needed in some way. But you have to figure that out. That verse just allowed me, again, to be at peace with where I am, to trust God even more, that where I'm going, I don't have to worry about that. All I need to worry about is my right now and how I'm preparing for what God has already told me is going to happen. And how he told me is because I'm listening, because I have an ear to hear and a heart to receive. And so I want to tell you today, if you don't know the Lord as your own personal Savior, have that conversation. Turn off the phones, turn off the radio, turn off people's opinions, turn off everybody's life, turn off the comparing, turn off the overcompensating, turn it all off. Get quiet with yourself. Align your mind, your spirit, and your body. Ask your Holy Spirit, what am I here for, and what do I need to be doing? You don't have to overcompensate when you in your lane. When you in your own lane, you do things the way you're supposed to do them. I hope this helps somebody tonight. Like I said, if it helped one person, honey, it's done its job. Every day, every week, I will be coming with something just so you can think about what's going on, where you need to go, how should you be getting there, just some little nuggets to help you on the way. I just want to let you know, I thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I love you all to life. Make sure you come back next week. You join me next week for I got another, listen, it's going to be good. Every week it's going to be good because I love you and there is nothing you can do about it. So meet me here next week. Same time, every Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Peace.